All right, round 2 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs are upon us. It all begins tonight just down the street at Scotiabank Arena. And joining us to help preview that Leafs-Panthers series, former LA exec and co-host of the Fan Hockey Show, Mike Futa. Thank you so much for joining again.
An absolute pleasure.
Last time we saw you, I also wore my blue and white, and we had our fingers crossed. We were hoping to eliminate the Sens. It happened. That felt great. Now we have a new battle ahead of us. Sitting here, what is the big storyline for you going into tonight's game?
Enjoy it. I mean, just be talking about round 2 in the Toronto Maple Leafs is not something that we share on a yearly basis. And I felt, there were such great expectations in the first round, and, they made things interesting as they usually do, but they persevered. I thought they were the better team. I think they showed they're a different team. I think, Stolarz has been the real deal in net, and Craig Berube has brought. There's just like a leadership, a calmness about him. He certainly doesn't have that with his assistant coaches. He needs to throw a couple glasses of water on his coach there that loses every time they score a goal. But in general, there seems to be a calmness theme to it. They get a couple days off. If you had told me that Florida would have had extra days off because their series started later than the Leafs and finished earlier, which it wasn't that much. It was only a day, but it'll be really interesting. This Florida team, the defending champs, ex-Paul Maurice, ex-Leaf coach. It's got a lot of different storylines. Obviously, Toronto's love for Brad Marchand, and now we get him in a different jersey. Somehow the rats in Florida seem to come into play when it comes to him. But I love the sport. I love the competitive nature. I love the Tchucks. So I think this is going to be it's going to be a huge step for the Leafs to do. And I hope they entertain their fans. I hope their fans maintain their sanity and trying to support them.
Well, that's a lot to ask, Mike.
That's a hell of a lot to ask. But honestly, it's the atmosphere there has been so great. I think they'll start incredibly strong, the fans, and then hopefully they can maintain it.
What do you think it is that they need to do right out of the gates? Who needs to step up? Is there an individual that needs to step up as a team? What do they need to do to feel confident, at least in this first game?
Goaltending for me is always critical, and it's I think the fact that he's an ex-Panther who won last year as a Panther is an intriguing storyline. I mean, he was Bob Bobrovsky's caddy kind of for the year, but just didn't get in because Bobrovsky's that good. Probably try and get in his kitchen a little bit. I thought Allmark got stronger as the series went on. It's nice to think about Leaf goaltending. They haven't had to play Woll, but it's been pretty solid, both of them, all year long. I think discipline is going to be a factor. Florida kind of likes to run you out of the building. I mean, they took 18 penalties in 5 games against Tampa, and Tampa's usually got a fabulous power play. They only scored twice. So I think the way the Leafs power play has been clicking with chemistry-wise. Mitch Marner, new dad yesterday, had a baby boy, which is awesome. So I just think if they can stay disciplined and not get too caught up in that game, Florida likes to drag you into the mud. And I don't think you can win against them because they've got a lot of mud.
A lot of mud to wade through,
But the Leafs, they don't take backward steps, but I think you've got to be disciplined. And I think teams that are this evenly matched, the experience matters for what Florida's gone through, but I also think that discipline and special teams is going to play a huge part of this one.
Lots of conversation about unlocking the beast that is Auston Matthews. We need to see him more on the board. What is your take on that, and where do they need to go? Where does he need to go?
Well, it comes with the territory. I mean, he scored a wonderful goal in the last game. I think we saw his competitive nature. It is as much as we like to think they're superheroes, right? This is his first year as the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs in a market where the expectations, and he wanted this responsibility. I think you start to see how vast the responsibility is, but I think when you have people around you to support you, he's that good. I mean, he's that good. Now, he's going to be matched up against Barkov pretty much for the next 10 days, who arguably is the best defensive forward in the league, who can score as well. So it'll be something that he's got to persevere because it's not going to be easy for him. There's not going to be a lot of ice. We've seen Barkov shut down the best of the best, so he's going to have to mentally be ready for this. Physically, hopefully any nagging injuries, you just got to step them aside and lead the way.
Last time we spoke, you felt very confident that they were going to eliminate the Sens. They did. Is it too much to ask you for a prediction now on what you think will happen with this series?
I really think right now the Panthers are the favorites. Whoever stays the healthiest and most disciplined should, but it's not. I'm not in one of those, they're unbeatable. I don't ever have that thing. I think the Leafs A game is every bit as good as the Florida A game. They just have to find a way to bring it. And I think there is a little bit of that They've slayed another dragon. They don't have to worry about this first round and the city caving in on them. So if they can remove what they call it, the outer noise, I believe.
That's us.
Matthew said, well, that's us, the outer noise. Most of it, in my case, it's usually positive noise, but so be it. It's not always the case. I just think they've got a really, they probably have the most talented players in this series, the Leafs. But you're playing against a group that has won and plays a real nasty brand of hockey. So it should be fun. It wouldn't surprise me to see the Leafs win. I think it's going to be a long series, but I think it would be an upset if they win.
Mike Futa, as always, appreciate your time. Again, action on Sportsnet, 8 p.m. tonight. You can catch it all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.